It's recording, and name is called. I'm gonna call it Jay Lives the Cat, living that cat life. I'm gonna do tags so I don't get called out by Zoomers. Well, hello everybody.
Hello.
It's Tuesday. And we are doing some hobby and chat.
What day of quarantine is this?
Oh geez, I don't even have a quarantine tracker anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I thank God if I didn't have a cell phone, I wouldn't even know it was a Tuesday. And the days just feel a little arbitrary at this point.
Yeah.
So Jay continues to live the cat life.
Still painting a cat here. Still.
I mean, it does look really good. It looks like you're going for that showcase level on this one.
I don't know about that. I am finding some. It's getting to be a bit of a chore. I don't know. I might reach that point where you just kind of are like, I give up. You know.
The last couple of areas just get contrasted.
Just kind of contrast.
Oh jeez, yeah.
Yeah. Well.
It's okay. I'm painting Death Angels again, so in the same boat.
Yeah. Well, like we were saying the other day, though, a couple more videos of me doing this thing. People are gonna be like, "Come on,
This content sucks."
content sucks. Just the same garbage every time. Same people.
Yeah.
Same model.
It's Chris and Jay again, and they're painting the same models.
And the same thing. Yeah.
I don't even pay for this, and it still sucks.
That's what makes it so difficult.
That's what makes it so difficult. We don't even really work here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bust out a little artist opus action here. Should I go to 3-town or 4-town? I think I'm gonna go to 3-town.
Wow, I've got my 0 for this year. So
0, holy cow!
Yeah,
that's like 4 times zoom.
Exactly.
Enhance.
Yeah. You want 4x? I'll give you 4x zoom here.
For those of you guys that don't know, Artist Opus is oh baby, Jay has a freaking legendary camera. He can do some crazy stuff.
We're just gonna go back to this here. Too much zoom is no good either.
Yeah, we're gonna see the atoms in the paint or whatever.
See the atoms. Yeah, can't let you see those.
So I've been working on the red here. This is pretty much I've done I did my patented Ink by Darkness shadowing on it. So it's pretty much good. I might do some spot highlighting on the end. And I'm going to work in some of my grays to kind of, it just kind of breaks up the bone on the model.
Nice.
And maybe I'll attempt starting a sword tonight.
Oof.
Whoa. We're getting crazy.
That's getting...
That's what we do, though, here. We get crazy.
John, I need to sit and watch John paint those swords. He's got like a certain recipe that I like. It looks really nice.
Yeah, he's kind of switched since he took that Sergio Calvo class. He's got this like texturized painting thing that he does, which it just looks really cool. Yeah, it's not metallics. Like there's he's kind of just like dotting highlights in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even Chris is learning computery stuff, and it takes an apocalypse to cause that to happen. But here we are. You're using your Artist Opus as well?
I'm also using.
I have to admit the stem is very comfortable.
Yeah, it's like not too. I don't know. It's like just the right not too thick, not too. Way it tapers. I don't know. It's comfortable.
It's like if Goldilocks designed a stem, you know, like it's not too, it's just right, you know.
Just right. Yeah. I haven't really plotted a chart to see whether I drop this brush more or less than my other brushes. Might be worth a go, you know, just to find out.
Do a little Mythbusters test.
Yeah, just,
you know,
just use the brush and put it on a little graph, you know, after 2 weeks. You know, like how many times did you?
I only dropped it once instead of twice.
That's right. It's 100% less. Not more comfortable or whatever.
God bless ratios, you know, just
ratio,
mathematics. That's what people tune in for, the math. The hard numbers. People love stats, though, so, you know.
Stats are stats, yeah. They can be useful sometimes.
Yep. So we, on a little bit of local news in terms of what's going on in the store. There are still a couple of distributors working on a skeleton crew, so we have been able to place some restocks on some pretty important hobby supplies, so pretty grateful for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just not Citadel. So
no.
But if you have used or haven't used Valeos, now's a good time. Still very good paint, just as good as Citadel paint, and they have lots of cool, fun products to use, and also scale colors still.
Yeah, I think we're placing a huge scale order basically this week. So
yeah. I might reiterate later. Anyone watching the thing is if you go to Scale USA or Scale 75 USA or whatever, pretty much anything on their website we can get. So have a look. Let us know.
Yeah, they actually have expanded their range of products that they carry in the U.S. From Scale. They have all kinds of busts and figures, and so there's quite a depth of products on there now, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, they have like cool weathering things, and, interesting brushes. Yeah, just a bit of everything. Some historical stuff.
They just added Chimera, which I'm a huge fan of their product line.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool.
They keep and like with some of our other products, we have a good relationship with them, and carrying their stuff for years, and just a good company. They really try and make sure to make good stuff and foolproof stuff, and I'm really glad that we stumbled on them or whatever. I don't even know how. I think one of our customers told us about them, and then we checked about it. This is probably at Adepticon, I think. Was that the first time?
Yeah, so we were kind of interested in checking their stuff out, and you know how J&R basically, like, as soon as we get interested in a range of paints, we basically buy all of them.
Yeah, I think
two of us. I think part of our first order. What did we get? All the paints? Yeah, each.
We both got the full.
Yeah,
but I definitely bought the full set of paint for myself.
Yeah,
and then used it a bunch for. Sorry, I bought like a little 8 paint set or something to try it out, and I used it for 1 day, and then I bought all the rest. I bought the other 40 paints.
Which I've noticed just empirically seems to happen with almost everybody who picks up a paint set. Yeah. Which is why we're always like, just try a set of paints, pick a color set, give it a whirl, and honestly, like the proof is in the pudding, sort of thing. They also have their fantasy and games range, which I waited quite a while to try. It's also really, really nice for different reasons.
Yeah, it's been actually I don't own too many of those, but it's kind of like I've kind of wanted to. I think if there was another rack of paint for us to carry, maybe that one one day.
Yeah, they kind of have a bit more of a blendy, bright, glazy consistency. They're kind of a little thinner, not quite as thick as the scale color range, but they
They're
definitely
thinner, yeah.
blend nice, and they have really like a lot more brighter colors. Hence the
Yeah.
fantasy and games, I guess, designation.
Correct. Yeah.
I guess it would be like their game color essentially, right? In a
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. Yeah. Who's
Oh,
painting
The llama. Jay's painting the llama.
like llama? Kind of
It's a
llama like.
Spherenx, actually.
Yeah.
Actually, classes push.
That's right.
Yeah. Mm, yeah, I didn't think I would, but still have that urge to kind of paint more Bone Reaper models. I don't know why.
Bone Reapers, yeah. Well, I mean, might as well just keep going while you're still hot or
Exactly. I think
whatever.
it's yeah. Just I haven't hit that burnout point, I guess, yet. So
Surprising.
I know it is actually surprising, yeah. And I think the other thing too is I have some of the really fun models left to paint. Like these guys are actually pretty fun. And then I get to paint Xerxes or whatever, Catacross,
Right.
yeah, which is going to be a
Catacross.
blast.
Yeah.
It's like painting like 6 special characters. And then yeah, I think my goal is to paint one of each of the characters, and then paint up a couple catapults just to have the options. We'll see if that happens though.
Oh, how you doing, Edson? See a lot of Edson's projects being finished.
That
The
man
man with the,
smashes out projects, dude.
that's right. Also has the nicest little painting desk I've seen.
Yeah, I'm kind of like
Plus,
actually a little embarrassed that he's can like almost see part of my painting desk. You know, it's like, ugh, look away, I'm hideous.
basically.
One of the cool things about using contrast as my starting point on this project is like I made the concerted effort to basically highlight almost all the colors up from the same tone, which is kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
It gives like a nice feel to this to the models. Like they have like a dark brown tone to the whole model.
Yeah,
Wildwood's just a great color.
very good. Yeah, nice. It's a nice starting point for any brown.
Yeah.
And I love it as a wood color. It's great.
Oh yeah, super nice.
Yeah, I'm finding details in this model now that wasn't. I was like, oh god, I gotta paint this too. No, it's like belts and things.
Doesn't seem like a model that would have those, but
Yeah, it's got stuff. It's got things, little hidden things, as any good Games Workshop model does.
mm-hmm. I learned from Fire Slayers that a model doesn't have to look detailed to be detailed. You know.
Oh yeah, yeah, they're deceptive. They look like they're just a guy with, so like naked guy or whatever. And then you're like, oh, he's got trinkets and stuff, runes.
Trinkets and trinkets and trinkets. It's gonna be a lot of brown on that guy. You know, just random brown.
It's gonna be dark brown.
Yeah.
Every detail.
Gonna paint your trinket brown. It's an old joke we used to make, just like when you don't know what color to paint something on a model, just make it brown, you know?
It's brown, yeah.
Yeah. Brown can get you out of a lot of jams.
Like that's yeah, I spent some time on the gold. I pretty much just ripped the one of the showcase models or whatever the GW put forth when the model was coming out. It's like the blue Zinch one or whatever. One of the employees at the office painted. She did a nice job, so I was like, oh, I like that gold. So I just cropped the image and kind of put it in front of me and kind of studied it and matched up with, as close as I could. It was a bit of a pain, but it wasn't too bad. Maybe I don't know, uh, maybe 4 hours to do. I got to do a little more work on the chest too. And then I realized he has a stupid like thing on his tail here. He's got some armor that I will have to also do at some point, probably from like just to guess, because I don't think there's any close-ups. So actually, I had to guess on the chest too. There was no close-ups, so then I just kind of like made it up. So, but once you're kind of in, you have the process down. It's not as bad.
I don't know what the original will look like, but yours looks good.
Oh, thanks. The one on the box is just standard metallics or whatever.
I just like I like that particular effect. It reminds me a bit of like Kirill's non-metallic metal, where it's got that like really like distinct line of shine.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. It does have a pretty harsher line. Yeah, it's not like a soft model thing. It's like, no, this is like a harsh
Mm-hmm.
reflection or whatever. And I think that works better for I don't know, fantasy miniature anyway. To be honest,
Yeah.
it's already like it's like trying to go for like this crazy, I don't know, like realism is like irrelevant when it's like, I don't know what this is, like a 8 foot tall cat with horns and stuff. And they can read your mind. Like, we can suspend some disbelief or whatever.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Rule of cool.
Is KDM Kingdom Death? Is that what you're painting it? Okay. Cool. You don't see a lot of painted Kingdom Death models. Always surprised how nice they look when they're painted, though.
Yeah, they look really nice. Yeah, well, I think that stems from the fact that there's a lot of people that own the models from because they like board games, so they might not necessarily be
yes, that's a good
like
point.
really painters. They're just kind of like, oh, I got it because it's the best board game, which it's definitely up there. It's some pretty crazy. Although the other thing is, a lot of people get it, and then it's just like too much to do because you get hundreds of models or whatever.
Yeah, I think that's the case, and then also because the game was so intense, it's sort of like trying to find a friend to play Twilight Imperium with. Like it's
it's hard. Yeah,
you need a pretty serious group to play with.
Yeah,
So
the table real estate it eats up.
yeah. So playing painted is nicer. You're absolutely right. It just adds that like imagery to the game.
Oh, I would. Yeah.
I don't know why, but anytime I think about like playing painted, I always just think of our old games of Flames of War we used to play together. Like setting up the villages and having fully painted art. It just like
Oh yeah, it was a big part
it's
of
like
it.
half the reason we played the game.
Yeah, I think so. I still see people do that now. They just setting up the table is like the best part.
Yeah.
Deciding what the story's going to be in that particular battle or whatever, and then the game is just like secondary.
Yeah, definitely Flames of War is a cool game to look at. It just looks awesome on the table. And because you feel like you're getting like a little bit of a bird's eye view, it's very reminiscent of like playing Command and Conquer and all those like strategy games you used to play if people played those games when they were younger. I know I did.
And we're one of the few stores that has a bunch of it. Probably
This
the
is
only
true.
store.
Yeah, I don't know any other shops that carry um, the crazy. I mean, yeah, I guess you got to be a little crazy to carry the amount we carry.
Yeah.
But no, it is kind of our motto when we bring a game in. We want to make sure our customers can get pretty much anything they want.
Yeah.
Nothing worse than investing into a game and then the store looks like they're kind of afraid to invest into it. So
It makes you question, what's is this going to be around, or is anyone actually playing this?
Battlefront's also, I got to give them a lot of credit, a really good company to buy stuff from. They kind of do all the same stuff GW does.
Yeah, they're built on the same, whatever you call it, engine. Same. They have a trade. They have like a real salespeople and deal directly with them. Have like fair shipping. Pretty fast shipping too, actually. You get stuff in like 4 days, 3 days, 2 days.
Yeah, Maryland's pretty close for the most part. So
yeah. So I need some input. What color to paint these? Oh, do I? Let's see if we can turn off the. I don't even know how to turn that off. Oh, maybe down here. Someone says I have a double mic on. I don't know how.
That is weird. Maybe I can do this. All right. Say something.
I'm still here, yeah.
Did that tell me, guys? Did that fix the problem?
Do we know?
Okay, there you go.
Sounds
cool.
good now.
That was on my end. I think I had.
Thanks, Chris.
I know, yeah. I'm still learning this stuff. I had desktop audio and also his input into my ear as well recording. So.
What should I paint these braids? Is the question.
The braids.
The braids for open question here.
We'll look in the computer here for a second.
In the computer.
Oh, the braids of his hair? They're just gray. They're just primer color.
They're just primer gray. Yeah.
Jeez.
Mine has got purple.
You've got purple.
You've got the skin is like green and purple, and it's just dark. It's just meant to be like really dark.
What about? Do you think you want a bright contrast, or do you want it like a bit darker?
I was gonna go a warm color, but I'm throwing it out to the open here.
You gotta vote for yellow.
Gotta vote for yellow. Yeah.
I like the purple, honestly. Like, I would maybe do purple, but blend some of the green in to it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's also possible.
Take care, Edson. Thanks for joining, man.
Bye.
We'll see you around. One of the awesome things, just a complete segue, about glazing is that, and I've learned this over time, actually hopefully have Diviet on at some point, Mr. Congrian, to talk a bit more about glazing, but having a dark color like Wildwood, I can just take Administratum Gray and just go right on top of it, and and not have brush strokes, because I just kind of put a bunch of translucent layers on, and that's kind of using one color to blend up is a lot of fun.
Blend up, stupid. Yeah.
Blendy, blendy.
Let's see what yellow I have here.
Oh, if John was on, he'd be like, high key yellow, high key yellow.
High key. Yeah.
Yeah.
Put that on everything.
Puts a shot of that in his coffee in the morning, you know.
I was gonna say, the topic of today or whatever was people missing gaming.
What's that?
I feel like the topic earlier today among our friends was missing gaming.
Oh yeah, how's everybody else feeling about that?
It's like you can talk all this theory, but then you're like, what am I gonna get to use this? Like, why would I write an army list if I have no game coming up? I don't know.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is it gives you a nice, concise project to focus on.
Yeah, that's true.
That's about it.
You can just kind of like be like, you know what? I'm just gonna like really just paint and yeah, just go right into that, deep into that. It is good for focus. I agree.
Just reminds me of being a teenager and always writing an army list and just never playing a game with that army, but just painting and collecting.
That's true.
We're all in that boat now, because even if you wanted to play, you can't.
It was a simpler time.
Simpler time.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's true, yeah, because your next game was like, who knows when or whatever. It's like I usually got a game like once a month if I was lucky or whatever.
Yeah, it's just funny how life is, you know. You don't really value something that highly until you can't do it at all, and then you're like, oh, I really kind of want to do that. Would be fun. I was just really getting into Marvel Crisis Protocol a lot too. I was playing that a couple times a week. That was a lot of fun.
And now?
Not. And now not. I can't do the tabletop simulator. It's just, it doesn't feel... It's got to be with my own toys. I just can't do it. I can't do it. You can't do it. You can do it.
I give a couple more days, another week or two.
Yeah, we'll see, See how desperate I get. I guess the thing is if I was going to play something on my computer, it would just be a video game. I wouldn't play a tabletop game on my computer. I don't know. It's just kind of a weird mindset thing, I think. Yeah, I'm a bit of a wuss, it's true.
Wuss.
Yeah, Total War Warhammer. I play games to not think, Dave, okay? And that's why I'm a bronze tier Heroes of the Storm player. That's why.
That's going to come back to haunt you. You shouldn't tell the internet
okay.
that.
You can't be good at everything in life, right? It's funny. I'm gonna go on a bit of a segue here, but I had an uncle growing up, and we used to play video games, specifically like NHL, like hockey games, like pretty much since like Blades of Steel. And every year we get the new one or whatever. And like since I was 7, I just kick his ass, And I used to think he was throwing it originally, and then as you get a little older, you're like, no, I'm just way better than you at this. And I was always like, how does this guy play so much, and not be able to beat a kid at it? And then I got old.
Yeah.
And you realize just like, it's funny, like playing a first person shooter now, like just like you lose a bit of reaction time.
Oh yeah.
That's like so critical in games like that.
It's all kinds of games, like the even the MOBAs and the RTS games, anything that requires like quick thinking and like quick reactions, you just lose it. Well, also you don't have the same, you can't put the same reps in, you can't put the 5-6 hours every day or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
You just can't. And also you don't care as much, so it's a lot of those all together.
It's a dangerous cocktail of why I'm not good at video games anymore.
Yeah. Still fun.
Still fun.
Sure.
Still fun.
And it dawns on you that getting salty over a game is just so stupid.
Wasted energy, yeah, exactly.
You're literally competing for nothing. You're competing for some purple coins or something. Or used to get a skin later. Or a loot box or something. That being said, those games of Mario Kart are fierce. So.
Yeah, anytime I need to
some serious competition there
to lose some self-confidence, I could just fire up Mario Kart and play with our buddy Lewis. And if anyone's met this guy, like he's the nicest man in the entire world. He'd do anything for you. And but when he plays video games, the darkest side of him comes out. And even if anyone who's played Mario Kart, even if you fire a blue shell at him, he'll find a way to dodge it.
Oh, he's always got that.
And how do you know he dodged it, Jay?
Yeah, I just assume he does every time.
Usually he lets out a very excited, "Oh yeah!"
Yeah, yeah, he does. Yeah.
You're just like, "Are you kidding me?"
I always dread to see the whatever the record that the game keeps tab on, the head-to-head.
It's like, why are you keeping score of this? It's supposed to be a kid's game,
It's like,
it's not a kid's game.
It's without a joke. It's something like my head-to-head against them is like 20 and 160 or something. So in 200 races, I've finished ahead of him maybe. What is that? 5% of the time or something? No, 2.5% of the time. Yeah.
And then we got our other buddy, Mr. Track Assist, or whatever, who plays with us.
Oh yeah, he doesn't get any.
He bowls with the sides on or whatever.
He's just there because he's an extra player, at this point.
But you know what? You got to give it to him. He's like, I can take the advantage. I'm gonna take it. And you're like, yep.
I'm gonna take it.
It's more fun. It's more fun for him not to drive off the side.
It is. Yeah, sure.
But then Lewis makes the point that track assist makes you a little slower. So you're like, well, I can't use that then if I'm gonna beat Lewis.
He just gives you the Nicky Lauda answer, yeah. The stream, I think, probably looking at first, maybe twice, at least twice, maybe more. It depends on, like, I think we decided Thursdays for sure, and then the odd time there's like a spare moment. We'll fire one up.
And we have some friends that are going to be streaming with us. They're just getting their setups going, and we might do some stuff with them and stuff. We'll see. I think for now, like we don't want to just commit to a day and then miss out or whatever. So we're just going to commit to Thursdays for now, and then everything else is bonus content. Bonus.
Today's bonus. You're welcome.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll branch in the board games, but we're definitely just painting and chatting and whatever's going on in the hobby, whatever people are doing. The focus is.
You can always ask us about a board game, but
you can, yeah. If you want to watch us play a board game, I don't know.
I don't even want to watch me play a board game.
There's a lot better channels you can watch.
I definitely don't want to watch Jay play a board game.
No, no, you don't.
How to not feed your family in Agricola.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah, that's true.
Jay is the greediest board game player you'll ever meet
It
in your
was
whole
it
life.
was a it was a really greedy play. Yeah,
It was,
I
yeah.
tried to reach for the stars and I came a lot really short. Actually, I don't think I was last place. I think I was like, I think there was 5 of us. I think I was like fourth or something. I still managed to
Despite
claw back
all the beggar cards, yeah.
all the beggar cards. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I what is it? I don't win very often. I'm like I won in 20 games or whatever. I'll put one together. I'm not safe enough. So I like games like Stellaris. I can fire up a new game and try something crazy. And if it doesn't work, you're just like, okay, we'll just start a different game.
Yep. Actually, the one sucky thing about I mean, not complaining, but the one sucky thing about kids, I find is less time for things like board games, at least for now. Young kids go to sleep really early. So
yeah, you can't do the you can't play a game of whatever Terra Mystica or something till 3:30 a.m. or something, or 4 a.m. Like it just the cost would be too high.
One day, Jay will live again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in like 20 years or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's why I want that fancy 6x4 gaming table so I can fold it up and never use it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I was going to say,
dream, right?
20 years, assuming we're not living the like interstellar life or whatever, where like there's no food and
the Dust Bowl experience.
The Dust Bowl.
Yeah, that's true. I did think that movie was probably the most realistic future for us. It's getting dark.
Matthew McConaughey stuck in a time tesseract or whatever.
That's right. Oh God. Gloomhaven, man, that's a project. Holy cow!
It's like that game came out. What do you call it? 5 years too late for me or whatever. Like
yeah.
Came out 5 years sooner, I would have been like, oh yeah.
That's like the board game equivalent of getting married. Like you're like really committing to something, like.
It's true.
You're like, do I really like this board game? Do I?
I mean, you got to buy like 1,600 sleeves, so there's that.
Do you love Lamp or do you just like Lamp? I think I love Lamp. McCutcheon's found a way to slither himself into the channel.
Was it?
When are we going to get you on here and talking about Sword and Brush, buddy?
Well, there you go.
And historicals. We got to get Alex to talk about historicals so we can have one viewer or whatever. Just... I love giving him crap about that stuff. It's the best.
Alex is like he's like one of the guys that behind the scenes does a lot for the community.
Oh yeah, big time.
And it's like probably the sole reason or the biggest reason Sword and Brush happens. And well, not to say there's a committee that are all equally important, but he's I don't know, he seems to he's a salesman by trade.
Yeah, he's kind of the glue that holds the whole thing together. Everybody puts their time in, but I feel like McCutcheon keeps everybody like level and tells me to shut up when necessary.
Yeah.
Flames of War is not a historical game. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's true. Every game I play, the Germans win, right? So
yeah,
there's no history in that. That's like. And for some reason, there's just like no Soviet players. It's like too much work or something.
Yeah, so we'll probably have. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm done.
Probably have Alex and Anthony on, the two guys who kind of started it all. They're figure club essentially. Like these guys have a really cool club that they kind of started, and they used to do monthly meetings, and they basically get together and kind of just inspire each other to work on projects. Sort of not unlike our hobby group, and they just created a painting show, which is pretty cool. And they all volunteer every year to make it happen. So.
Pumpkin hands. Yeah.
Oh, dude, you love your pumpkin hand models. Every link this guy sends me, I'm always like, send me a link of like a good historical model. He sends me one. I'm like, pumpkin. He's like, these ones are the best, dude. These ones are the best. Pumpkin.
Pumpkins are. Also, if you're in the market for 28 mil modern Canadian miniatures, he's your man. His company, Full Battle Rattle Miniatures, sells them, makes them, and sells them. So.
Yeah, they just did a project to cast Lav.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool.
They're, as far as we know, the only versions of
Hey,
those on the
Dave,
market.
what's up, dude? You made it. When are you guys gonna start streaming? Yeah, I think there's a couple of modern war games you can play. I think Spectre's probably the the biggest one. It's like it's like infinity size units, and you kind of do like the like Spec Ops type missions. The historical world's like mostly completely different than the fantasy and sci-fi miniature gaming. It's there's a lot of like rule sets that are made, but like the companies don't necessarily make models, and then you just kind of use whatever
you want.
Yeah.
So it's like pros and cons. It's, yeah, being able, you get to really, it's meant to be like, you know, really telling your own story and finding the, like I guess it's just like we described earlier. You're kind of building a table and scenario, like everything is being factored in. You're not just kind of collecting a bunch of minis and just like tossing them together. You're like playing. It's like there's a lot of thought put into like what terrain you're curating and what setting you're in, and when it's all put together, it looks phenomenal. It's very appealing, you know, to see like in the case of Alex's miniatures, it's like seeing them in their I think they're all in their Afghan tour.
They're full kitted and everything. Yeah, they're really cool.
Yeah, so everything, including his like interpreters and civilians that he makes, and you want to build a table that reflects that. It looks really good when it's all together.
Yeah, I think there was also some terrain makers in Adepticon that made some cool modern stuff. I remember Alex spending some time in the booth last year. Might have actually been the Spectre guys. I don't remember exactly.
Sure, he'll chime in and correct us. Be like, oh god,
yeah, it'd be like, you guys don't know what the hell you're. It'd be like the historical date I was trying to give last week, and he's just like, actually, it was February 1915.
Oh yeah.
You idiots.
It's true. Don't blame us. Blame Mike Harris or something or whatever.
It was education cuts, man. I'm not smart.
That's when we went to school. The Mike Harris era.
It's all that mandatory testing I had to waste my time on instead of learning real things, you know?
I think you just gave away our age pretty hard there. People are like, what are you talking about?
Mike who?
Mike who? All right, weren't supposed to. My fault. I was supposed to introduce politics into this.
Yeah, you don't want to get me going on that stuff. You know, it's hit the danger eject button pretty fast. You know.
Yeah. So this stream dropped to zero pretty quick.
Oh boy. Black Site Studios. That's the name. Yeah.
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times.
Yeah, if I'm correct, did they have a huge? I think they had like a huge ship that you could like basically play a game on that was pretty badass. If at Adepticon last year, if I'm maybe McCutcheon can correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember that being a pretty cool thing. Yeah, the cargo ship is really cool. Boom, 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 boom. This guy has more trim than I remembered. He's painting these Morghast. It's basically like painting two monsters. They're almost as big.
They're big. Yeah, the wings add a lot of volume to that model.
That's the problem with like really specific scenery tables. Is, you know, most people are hurting for space, and you're just like, where do I put it after I play my campaign or whatever, you know? So as cool as it is, it's always hard to justify actually buying it, which is
well, it's any mega theme table.
Yeah.
The scenic tables have that whole. Also, the after X number of games, you kind of, I don't know, you kind of memorized everything, what the good spots are and what the deployment's like. I don't know. You end up. I feel like it gets stale a little bit. Depends on the game, though, I think.
Yeah, it's funny too because like we're from the area when, you know, this is before all the great plastic terrain that exists now. Like we used to have to make all of our own gaming tables at GW, you know. So we would have that issue. It's like the tables would get so boring after a while.
Yeah. Basically, at the store, it'd be like, oh, you know, I just knew. I'd be like, oh yeah, this distance from this hill to this forest or whatever is like 8 inches or whatever.
Of course, this is also the time of no pre-measuring, so you could
yeah.
it's like guess ranges. So you know,
Yeah, it was pretty funny. I'd be
like 43 inches from a rock thrower,
yeah,
right in the center of your regiment. We've been here before.
yeah. You're like, I want to play you in a game. And you're like, I don't think you do. It's like,
some of my favorite memories at Square One, the short period of time I was there. Jay would do a lot of the staff challenges for fantasy, just pull his Dark Elf army out of the case and just rinse somebody with it.
Oh man, that was.
And it wasn't anything special. It was just he just was clinical with it.
I don't know. That was one of the. That goes into the Hall of Fame of busted army books for sure. They had stuff in there that if you read it today, it'd make you blush or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, why did my unit champion get a magic weapon?
Why can my Hydra fight your whole army?
Yeah.
These questions have no answers.
Yeah.
It was basically like, did Gav Thorpe write my book? Wicked.
Yeah. Gavin, Matt.
Matty Ward.
It's also a good time to play Eldar, as it always is. My Falcon Grav tank never dies. This is great. Can't kill me. Wargaming's funny like that, and I find it interesting. It's interesting things I come across is like editions, game editions, and how they are like changes. Game edition changes are both the most look like things you look for the most, but also dread the most. And I'm always trying to remind people that like it's the game, for the health of the game, it can't be just like stuck in the same, you know, edition or mode for too long. You need like refreshers. The companies that make the games need excuses to make up new stuff, release new armies, new models, and unfortunately, that means that your army that's the best right now or whatever it just may not be the best forever. So, but games that don't process through some edition changes and make those hard choices, sometimes they tend to have rough patches that can be pretty cataclysmic in my opinion. So gotta change is good. Gotta make some changes.
Change is good. Exactly.
Yeah.
I agree. Nothing to add.
Yeah. So I just try and think of like some armies historically and, you know, different editions, and I just have like, yeah, good memories. And I don't necessarily have those armies anymore, but good memories. And if your favorite army is good right now, then play it a lot, enjoy it. And if it's a little weak in the game, then pick up a different army, or it'll come back eventually. So depends what kind of gaming you're into too, obviously.
I think, yeah, and to the other point too is like basically like and I think you and I both agree, player skill always matter more. So like you know, even bad armies, quote unquote bad armies, you know, you play them a ton, you get good with them, like you'll still do better than average.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of you always see it among the guys that play tournaments a lot. They'll play the same army for like the whole year, even though there's like new books out and new better rules can come out or whatever. They just stick with what they've been doing, and they usually do pretty well because they just know all the limitations and all the strengths of whatever they're playing, like down to a T. They know that X unit can fight Y unit and come out on top, or can't, or stuff like that. So those guys always do well.
We're pretty spoiled right now because Jay and I play a lot of AOS, but I can't think of a time in a game where like so many armies were like good.
Yeah,
it's pretty awesome.
It is. Yeah, you have a lot of good choices. There's no shortage. It's not like, oh, it's just these two armies that are just like running the table. That's like not at all the case. So. I think the change.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I think the pace of change has been a little. It's been quick, but maybe not as much. Like 40K, I feel has gone through so much in the last year, but I don't know. I pause to not judge 40K too hard because I don't play it enough. But from what I've seen, it's very organic. There's a lot like. It's like there's like someone coming up with something new like daily for that game, which is probably why it's so captivating for some people.
100%. Seems like it takes like more little nuances in the meta to really shift things greatly.
Tons. Yeah.
Whereas AOS, like the change seems a bit more gradual. Like a new army, like can shake things up. But there's like 20 armies right now. So like even a new army like Bone Reapers, for example, everyone expected to be really good, but there's really hard counters out there for the army.
Yeah.
And that's the thing for new armies is there's usually armies out there that can do well. So. And then the changes are usually only a couple times a year for the rest of the armies, and the changes I think they've made a concerted effort to make them more gradual, which is why I hold on to armies now, like that I like the paint scheme of, because I'm actually really excited for when the handbook comes out this year, because I might revisit my Deepkin again, paint up some other units. Really want to paint a turtle.
I don't know if another points drop would be enough for the turtle. No.
I think, and it probably just needs a new war scroll.
Yeah.
One snap attack. Come on, man. When is rolling one dice ever fun for anyone?
Yeah, one all in die. Yeah. It's a little soft.
I think there's been like Warhammer TV battle reports where like the guy with the turtle, like literally the game was hanging on that snapping jaw attack and he just couldn't get it.
Yeah. Yep.
Great miniature though, absolutely amazing. The Nurgle too. I think I definitely want to go back to that as well.
Yeah.
There's just so much with Chaos you can do.
Chaos is just like it was many years ago. It's like probably the best faction to collect. You'll always have something to do, and it'll be good. And your minis transfer really well across editions and games, and
yeah,
you just own a huge Chaos army. You're good to go. And like so much variety to paint too. You always got something to do. This cat literally is like, you know, might be a model I bust out a lot in the future, or it might be sit on my shelf for a bit. But eventually, a book or edition will come around, and I'll be like, "Yep, I got one.
Got him. I mean, you have been notorious, at least with AOS, for falling mass backwards into power with your Tzeentch especially. So.
Mass backwards, yeah. Except this edition, remember we said the one thing that I didn't own a ton of was flamers. I had 3 flamers and exalted flamer, which was a good start.
Too easy to predict. Too funny.
And then they were like, "Hey."
I mean, that new flamer kit's super nice. The plastic ones.
It's good. Yeah. I'll admit though, not the most fun to paint because they're just kind of like weird. They're like, they don't make sense as a model. There's just like a couple of blobs of flesh or something stapled together and some mouths and flames. They have like flames for hands. Not something you're like. I don't know. They look cool, but they're not like they're not very thrilling to paint, in my opinion. That's how it is sometimes.
Probably not going to get to swords today. Boo-hoo. That'll be next time. We'll do some cool energy effects on the swords.
Energy.
Yeah, so for local news, what do we got coming in next little while? We'll have some Artis Opus restocks. We'll have some Vallejo restocks.
In probably at least a week, but more whip outs, red grass whip outs.
Yeah. We got the new Monpok releases coming in.
Nice.
That is a hot game. Talk about if you want to paint some fun models that just...
in a game you can play with your family.
Yeah. It's hilarious, yeah. Just like, it's exactly what you think it is. It's stompy monsters fighting stompy monsters and a bunch of units trying to deal with the chaos that's going on and not being very good at all. There's like 2 little battles going on back and forth, so the units and they kind of fight the other units and occasionally try to do damage to a monster, and the monsters just slam and stomp and blow up buildings, and it's fun. Privateer Press made a good game. That's a little unfair, but I joke, but Monster Apocalypse is great. It's one of those games that it reminds me a bit of Malifaux like that, where like you have like all the tropes, I guess. It's like ninjas and robots and monsters and Cthulhu's and Gundams and whatever. You kind of have everything covered.
That's it all, yeah.
Dinosaurs. King Kong.
I think the dinos might be the most popular thing. So
they are probably some of the nicest models. And one of our customers, Jordan, he he did a really nice job on them with just like contrast paint and dry brushing. Looks so good because they're so textured.
Yeah. Yeah.
Contrast paints work real good on textured models. Real good. We'll probably wrap up in 5 minutes.
Yep.
We're doing a little shorter one tonight. But we'll probably post the schedule for the next week just so we have a bit more consistency for everybody so you can actually plan when to come on. And we'll try to go a little longer on Thursdays for people so you can actually...
Yeah, so
maybe we'll pick a topic this week to cover too. So we have a...
Yeah, please submit any topics or questions.
Unless you're John, you don't get to submit topics.
No,
they're too technical and
too technical
require
and
too
hard.
much work.
Do like research or something.
Yeah.
Go on the internet and check and be like, oh, what does non-metal metal mean or whatever?
What does it mean?
What does it mean to? What do you mean color harmony? I think he's just trying to throw his weight around or whatever. He wants to be the guy who's like, oh, I know the answer to that.
That's right. Or he's just trolling.
Also that, yeah. That's also trying to set us up for a troll job or whatever.
These guys are coming together. It's always nice to get the rest of the colors on the model. I attempted to do a bit of an airbrushing thing today, but I have to figure out what's going on at the store. The goal will be to do some live streaming from the store so I can do airbrushing and other types of stuff right from the shop, but I got to figure out a bit of a better setup because I was in Chop Town when I was streaming today, so try to figure that out for you guys. Don't worry about clicking on the airbrushing one; it's pretty horrible. Probably take it down. Unless you want to just hear every fifth word I say, you know.
Yeah, people are rapidly losing faith in us. Yeah.
Ain't nobody want to hear that.
Like, these guys can paint miniatures, but man, they bad at streaming or whatever.
Man, are they bad at technology. Holy cow. For this spirits, so few of my models have spirits on them, so I think my bone shaper had some spirits. I'm going to do Celestra Gray, and then blend in some purples and greens probably, just make it look really ghostly. Purple's my gem color. I have purple gems.
Purple gems.
Purple gems. What's everyone else been painting along with? McCutcheon's probably working on one of his 47 started figures. Actually, I wonder what Anthony's painting, because I haven't seen any of his stuff in a while. Maybe some Marvel. That'd be cool. 20 Termagants. Good lord, man.
Wow. Yep. That's
Yeah, but you always kill yourself, so that's not really like
that's true.
it's
Yeah.
like par for the course, right?
Yeah, Mike's the type of guy who will be like, every army he starts is a horde army, and then he paints. He starts by painting like 40 of their like basic like throwaway troop or whatever, and he'll do that for like 2 months.
And the worst part is he doesn't even mail it in.
No, everything is
It's
like
painted extremely well.
yeah,
Highlighted, layered, shaded, like just full
many
lines.
steps,
Yeah.
many layers. Yeah.
He's a madman.
Good. That's how you maximize your hobby and de-stress, I guess. You know, just of that like nice and consistent thing going on. He says killing himself, but I know he's like, this is.
He secretly loves it. Yeah, he secretly loves it. Yeah.
Because every time he finishes one 40-man horde, he immediately buys and builds the next one.
I don't even know how many Blood Reavers he ended up painting, but so many of them.
Well, I know he has like 4 Bloodthirsters, which is also like, I was like, holy Jesus. The best part and worst part about all the greater demons is you need to own multiples of them.
They're so cool.
They're so good. Yeah.
Probably my favorite thing about Age of Sigmar is like finally big models are good. Like all those years in fantasy, like a lot of the big cool models just weren't worth taking.
No, they weren't. They were like they always had something that made them kind of they're too expensive, or the guy died too easily, or yeah, they were always like missing, or always even if the model was really good, like the whenever a guy and a dragon or something, it was that whole like they could just get cannonballed one time.
Cannonball, yeah.
Turn one cannonball,
yeah.
So you're like always liability, and you have to like hope that you got like you're playing on a table with some kind of like giant building or something. I think you could sit behind and whatever, and then you'd like it was people would be like, oh, you're playing 600 point dude on dragon, that's risky.
Yeah.
What if you play against the cannon? It's always the next question.
And of course they were never like 200 points, they were like 800 points or something. Like just something crazy.
Yeah. You know how the rule is, you cannonball their guy, and gets to like how much damage you do. You roll like a 1 or whatever, and then when your guy gets cannonballed, 6.
Ignores like, armor. Dead.
It's always like, oh yeah. Goes dead. And then you're like, why do I play these games again?
So I only spent 60 hours painting my coolest model and just died immediately.
Yeah.
This game's awesome.
I love this game.
I love it. All right, guys. I think we're gonna cut it there. Thank you so much for tuning in again. We'll see you guys probably 9 p.m. Thursday. We'll post.
Yeah.
And until then, you can Facebook message, email us, go on our website, lordsofwargames.com. Place your orders. If you need anything, we got you covered. We can ship. We can do curbside pickup. If you're super local, we can deliver. Thank you guys so much for supporting us. Have a great night.
Yeah, good night.